You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 171. I am one of your hosts, Rashan, aka Roro on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan, Daniel Prindle. How are you doing today?
Doing fine and dandy, sir. Thank you.
Nice. Happy holidays to just us. Screw Christian, screw Gage. Neither of them are here today. They're enjoying the holidays as they should, but I am a little salty. Okay.
Yes.
And I deserve to be. But I hope they're having a good time wherever they may be, playing video games with their family, whatever. Hope they're having a good holiday, as anyone who is listening on podcast services across the world. Thank you for watching us, listening live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/podcastpxn at podcastpxn. I'm sorry. I'm not used to that yet. I forgot that we have a handle.
Yeah, that's
and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, we're going to be going over our our video game analytics from 2022, like everything that we've played on PlayStation, on Steam, on Nintendo, if we have that information. We're going over our little 2022 Wrapped for our video games. We're going to do quick bites, but we're also going to do, before topping of the show, PXN News of the Year, where we go through the biggest headlines through the year and kind of reminisce over the video game stories, the biggest ones that went through this year. Kind of do a little in review, like how good was 2022 for video games, or how bad it was. We'll have to wait and see. But before we get to either of those, we're going to start with the quick bites this week. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Dan?
Yes, sir.
It's pretty
it's dry out here.
It's dry out there. I'm very thirsty for some news. We're obviously reaching the end of the year, so as we were saying in the pre-show, as you were telling me in the pre-show, things have quieted down. Everybody's on vacation, so not a whole lot right here, so let's just go right through it. It's actually quick bites this time. We're actually going to go right through it. The first one is from Okami Games on Twitter, but I'm sure this was reported in other places as well, but this is where I'm reading from. Neil Druckmann says his next Naughty Dog title is structured, quote, struck more like a TV show than any other Naughty Dog title before it. He'll also be using a team of writers alongside him for the first time. Neil went on to clarify a little bit later, I think the day after that came out. He said, "I'm sure no one will misconstrue what that means. Spoiler, it's about making the games in an even more collaborative manner. Stoked to show you our projects as soon as we can." Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for anything from Naughty Dog, anything from Neil, whatever it may be, however they make it. But it's good to know that he's got something cooking.
Yeah. I think, and we were talking in the chat, our private chat, about maybe this is Last of Us Part 3, and like even Part 2, I feel like was kind of structured like a TV series already, like with you kind of seeing different perspectives with Abby and Ellie kind of going back and forth to kind of maybe, I guess, expand more on that. Maybe they'll introduce more characters. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Having finished The Last of Us Part 2, and I think you were the middest on it out of all of us. How are you feeling for a potential Part 3? Are you excited, or are you a little bit meh now after beating Part 2?
So I guess what I'll say, without spoiling anything, what I'll say is this is like, I think after the events of Part 2, I'm just going to take, where we're at the end of Part 2 into Part 3 and like take that as a cohesive story, rather than look back at what I didn't like about Part 2 and like afflict that towards Part 3, like, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I think it's a valid criticism for Part 2, but like, looking forward, like, I think it's really cool to possibly think about them introducing more characters in that capacity, where you see more viewpoints and seeing more things happen at one time in Part 3. I think that would be really, really cool. So yeah, that could be really unique too. Like, not a lot of games do that, where you get multiple protagonists and see things from different perspectives.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited for Part 3 and what they might do with that. Whether we take the TV thing and roll with it, and it actually means like all these different perspectives, or it just really means production stuff. But either way, I'm sure they're going to take it to the next level as they keep doing with these Naughty Dog games. Hideo wants to take life to the next level, apparently. Hideo Kojima has revealed that he plans to, quote, become an AI and stick around after death. Source from an IGN interview. Cool. There might be more context to this that I may need to read, but I just thought that headline alone is very Kojima. Even if there is some, I don't know how else you could make that sound. I don't know what context you need, honestly. I feel like that is that.
Yeah.
And I think if we ever get to a place where that's possible, I would like Kojima to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the people that I wouldn't want to ever see disappear.
Yeah, and it's like it is funny. Like, obviously we need the technology to be able to do that, but Kojima, like maybe his brain will go on ice or something, like get frozen, and they'll figure out a way to, I don't know, to bring it back. I don't know. It's a fascinating idea and very funny that he was kind of throwing this out there.
Yeah. Oh my god. Walt Disney's Frozen Head is like, we've been doing this for years. But anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to our next story. God of War Ragnarok is getting a new Game Plus in 2023. Sony Santa Monica announces that a new Game Plus mode will come to God of War in Ragnarok Spring 2023. Quote, we know that many of you have been asking, so we're happy to confirm that new Game Plus is coming to God of War. Sony Santa Monica's official Twitter account revealed, we'll share more details once we get closer to the release, end quote. I still haven't played Ragnarok. I made my decision with Sonic, and I still haven't picked it up yet. But Dan, how far are you now?
Well, I will talk more about it in what you got for me, but I'm about 15, 16 hours in. But yeah, I have a lot more thoughts about it then. But yeah, it's really cool that they're adding New Game Plus, because this is a really good game for New Game Plus, because there's so many unlocks. Like there's so many upgrade screens and trees that you have to progress through. So like this is perfect, bro, for them to add this. Yeah,
I think that's good. It's always tough when they do it like after release, and it's not, and it's hard I imagine it's hard to get new or players that have played it back. But I don't know, there's so many, like you said, there's so many challenges, there's so many unlocks that maybe people will come back for a new Game Plus. I know it's something that people have been asking for, as they said here, but yeah, it just sucks when it's not there day one. But that's, guys, that we said it was dry. That was it. That's it for Quick Bites. So we're moving into the PXN news of the year.
Whoa.
Dan, I have a list of headlines from January to December. I used IGN's some IGN articles, but I mainly used a video by SkillUp who did a similar thing, and he went through some of the big news of the year. So I pulled a couple from his video too. So not everything, but a couple of big ones I think we might be able to talk about here.
Heck yeah.
So everybody strap in. We're going to review 2022 in terms of video game headlines. So let's start off in January, the new year. And how does it start? With Square Enix CEO announcing that the company's future endeavors in the NFT business. And that was the first of many. And who can forget the infamous quote from that article? Some players play video games to have fun. Some people play games to have fun. Such a tone deaf quote, not to mention the whole NFT thing. Also tone deaf, but that's not the last time we'll hear about NFTs, let me tell you, in this rundown here. Yeah, that was disappointing. That was a sad way to start the year, I think.
Very
just
sad.
Like being excited for 2022 in video games, and the first thing that we got was to see, and it was on New Year's Day, literally New Year's Day. This guy says this. God, okay, this is what we're in for this year.
Here's our New Year's resolution: NFTs. Like
exactly.
Oh, nobody wants that.
And another one here: Microsoft announces their plan to acquire Activision Blizzard for $70 billion with a B. I'm sure this is not the last time we're going to be hearing about it. And it wasn't.
No.
It's crazy how far this thing has come. The earliest that we might see this resolved is August next year. When this was first announced, I honestly thought it would be a a quick thing, but this is still going on, and there's just so many factors that I just didn't realize were at play at the time until everything started unraveling. And it's going to be a while until this is solved, it seems.
Yeah. Feel bad for those employees at Activision Blizzard. Ugh.
Yeah.
Not a good situation there.
Screw Bobby Kotick.
Yes.
This month, Sony also bought something, Bungie, for $3.6 billion. We still haven't seen the fruits of that yet. Obviously, it was this year, but that's a lot of money for Bungie. Yeah. And now they have a really great live service team under their belt. Bungie's still going to be producing games for everyone, not just PlayStation, but they have a lot of talent there for PlayStation's new endeavor in live service stuff now.
That story still doesn't feel real to me.
It feels so weird.
It does. It feels weird.
They went from independent to Microsoft,
yeah,
and then to Activision, and then independent again, and now they're with Sony, which is the last place I would have expected them to land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving in to February, Rockstar announces that GTA 6 is in development. Huge bombshell that everybody knew was happening, but it's good to get some confirmation from the big dogs over at Rockstar. Do you think we're going to see this anytime soon?
No.
I
think it's going to be a while. At earliest fall of next year, but I think that's still not likely, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, we also have the predictions video to do, so
true.
Maybe one of us will say next year we're going to see going to see the trailer or something.
Gage will say that it's coming right next to not Undead Labs. That's the developer. State of Decay 3, right next to that. Brenty says, "Good evening, fellas. Happy holidays." Thank you, Brenty.
Happy holidays.
You as well.
All right, and the next one we have here for February is Epic donates $144 million to the ongoing Ukraine crisis. The whole Russian invasion, that was a big story. That was awesome, making them the largest non-state entity to donate to Ukraine. And them being a video game company just made it even cooler. So that was really nice, and obviously it's really sweet of them to donate to them. Obviously, the Ukraine stuff is still going on. The Russian invasion, all that war, horrible stuff, still going on over there. Video game developers are still impacted by that as well. The developers in Ukraine. So our thoughts go out to them. But this was huge. This was a great move by Epic because they got the cash and they did something good with it.
Very cool. Very cool.
February also saw the release of Elden Ring, Horizon, and the Steam Deck. But last but not least, Uncharted, starring Tom Holland, also released that month. I still haven't seen it.
You know what? It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Was good. It's not my favorite movie, but it was all right.
It was all right. We gotta have some of those movies every now and again.
Yeah.
Just some good entertainment.
Yeah.
Some background noise, if you will. Here we are in March. PlayStation announces a new studio, Haven Studios, led by Jade Raymond, developing an exclusive live service game for PS5. Now, this might be something we possibly see next year, maybe a little teaser.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Jade Raymond was originally at Stadia. Now she has her own studio, and now PlayStation owns them, which is really cool.
Yep. Very cool.
PlayStation Spartacus rumors started to float around this time as well. And Dan, the Halo TV show was also released.
To Gage's dismay.
Yeah, apparently. Gage did not love that one, but you did. You liked that one, right?
I did. I enjoyed it. I mean, again, not my favorite TV show ever. And if it wasn't Halo, it would probably fall lower on my ranking, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Not fantastic, but good.
Yeah. That is me with the April release of Sonic 2 in the theaters. If it wasn't Sonic, I probably wouldn't have loved it as much as I did, but it was, and I loved it. Sonic 2 released in April. Sorry?
No, yeah, I was, yes. I'm loving your love of Sonic.
We're in, gotta represent. We're in them today too.
Yeah. Glenn does say in the chat, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you, Glenn.
Merry Christmas.
And he also asks, where the heck is Gage? He should be on. Well, why don't you ask
tell
him?
Me?
Yeah.
Billy Gage. He forgot it was Wednesday, Glenn, apparently.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2 is officially delayed this month. It wasn't given a date yet. The industry is obviously still feeling the effects of the pandemic. It was very clear when this delay happened because this was supposed to be a 2022 game, I think.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of other delays that followed it in the coming months, as we will see. But Breath of the Wild 2, still no name yet, and still no date. But it officially got delayed this year. And this super sad story, Platinum Games' Babylon's Fall dropped to 8 concurrent players on Steam. And that's totally not foreshadowing for a future headline in the future, not at all. May, Bethesda delays Starfield to 2023. As I was saying, the pandemic hasn't been kind to the industry. But I think we talked about it a little bit, but just to go over it again, how did you feel about the original trailer of it? I know you're a Fallout guy, Bethesda guy, so how did you feel about it? I know some people were a little mid on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic for it for sure. Like, it definitely looks like a Bethesda game in space, which is really cool. And everything Todd Howard said about it, I'm very excited to see more from it. Obviously, hundreds of thousands of lines of dialogue is insane, and thousands of planets is insane. But I guess we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. But I'm optimistic for it. And obviously, this is the first game since Fallout 4 that Todd Howard's team has done. So very, very interested.
Yeah, same. I think it looks pretty cool. It's more like my vibe, like in terms of setting, like space sci-fi sort of stuff, as opposed to the Fallout. I like post-apocalyptic stuff, but something about Fallout just never jived with me. I don't know why.
Really?
But I don't know. Maybe I need to play the older ones, but I played 4 and I didn't love it.
4 I thought was okay, but I thought it was good, but not, anything special. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are fantastic. I would definitely recommend you go back and check those out.
I might have to check those out. And Skyrim too. I still haven't played.
Oh,
that either.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Woo! But you know what else is crazy? Square Enix sells most of their Western operations. Embracer gets a steal of a deal on Crystal Dynamics and IPs like Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Legacy of Kain for $300 million, which doesn't sound like a steal of a deal, but when you're getting all of that, it is.
Yeah.
And when you're Embracer, it is. That's crazy. I still can't believe they sold all those. And what was a real kick in the nuts to the developers and to me is that Square Enix also said they'd use these proceeds for their blockchain plans. What?
Yeah.
Square. Oh God! Thank God. They later retracted that statement, but that was like, oh my! You sold Tomb Raider.
Yeah, for
NFT.
Yeah.
God, that was such a facepalm moment. But yeah, hopefully, Embracer is able to do something with it. We are getting a new Tomb Raider game with Amazon. That was something that happened.
And Perfect Dark.
Yeah,
They're the main developer now, essentially, of that game because of the issues Microsoft's been having at their creating their own studio.
Yeah. So yeah, future might be bright for them. It's just crazy that Square Enix didn't see the potential in them, and obviously they're doing what they do still. So that's good to see at least. And at the end of May, the Tlu remake rumors started to come about, and that was the last that we heard about that. And then in June, of course, Jeff Keighley came with the Summer Games Fest, and we got some questionable Sonic Frontiers gameplay. Naughty Dog teases the new factions. Silk Song. Xbox announces their partnership with Kojima and on a special project, and plus that Starfield gameplay as well that we were talking about before. Yeah, that was pretty much Summer Games Fest. At least the biggest ones there. Horizon Netflix series gets their details this month, and Neon White and Diablo Immortal are released as well. So that was a surprisingly, maybe I missed a couple stuff, but surprisingly slow start to the summer. But July, Kojima is falsely accused for the assassination of Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. that was something.
Yeah.
For that, oh my God,
what a wild turn of events.
Right? Like, oh my God, poor guy. But I'm sure they eventually fix it. But it was like a UK news outlet that did that, and then some other people ran with it, which was very annoying. Hello, Keurig.
Yeah.
Keurig in the chat.
Heck
Send
yeah.
hello to the boys. Hello, how are you doing? We are going over the year of 2022, going over the biggest headlines, and then we're going to be going into the topic of the show.
And
We're in
you may-
July right now.
And you may wonder, Keurig, where Gage is at. Well, Glenn just told us in the chat that Gage is the Tarkov Teletubby himself is playing Tarkov with Ryan right now. Wow.
Understandable. And this next section I would like to call, we're still in July, by the way. This next section is what I like to call Ubisoft. You good? Beyond Good and Evil Beyond Good and Evil 2, still in pre-production, making it the longest game in development since, beating out Duke Nukem Forever. So congratulations. Ghost Recon Frontline is canceled, even though the game was essentially done. They just decided not to do it. Don't want to market this thing. Nobody wants it. And they were right on one thing. Roller Champions is canceled, and Avatar is delayed with no new date. Ubisoft, you good? Oh my god! And of course, Skull and Bones apparently is a full price game. We've seen a lot of gameplay on it. It doesn't look like it deserves that price tag to me. But
yeah, and that's coming next year too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2023 should be interesting for Ubisoft. We'll see what else they have up their sleeve, but right now they've got Skull and Bones and some admittedly some pretty exciting Assassin's Creed stuff.
Yes, very true.
That could be cool actually. But besides that, it's a little scary over there at Ubisoft. Not to mention all the talk about Yves having to potentially sell the company out of his family, which is also a little weird.
Yeah. Is Embracer Group going to buy Ubisoft next?
Very possible. And as I was saying before, Square announced that they actually won't be using the proceeds for selling Crystal Dynamics for NFTs. Yay!
Yes.
That's good. Xenoblade 3, Vampire Survivors, and Stray also released this month, which is a bunch of games that were at the Game Awards. Getting a lot of heavy hitters.
Heck yeah.
Now we are in August, halfway through the year. EU and UK open a bigger investigation into Activision Blizzard transaction, and we got these crazy quotes from Sony. Call of Duty could influence console purchases, like they don't have exclusive exclusive deals with Call of Duty themselves,
right? Yeah.
But other games too. They're like, what, Call of Duty, could influence some console purchases. Like, yeah, it could. Like, you have been doing this entire time.
like that Kojima game that Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2. Yeah.
My God, Sony. But Xbox also playing the same game, saying Activision doesn't really produce any much purchase games, and we'd be like, then why are you buying them for how much was it? $70 billion?
Yeah.
But that was only the beginning of this crazy word game that the little back and forth that they're doing, trying to make one side seem like the winner or who deserves to win this case. But that was the first of many. But those were some of the wildest ones that we heard. The PS5 price hike, except in America. Inflation and supply chain was to blame. Xbox says they plan to do the same thing, but after the holiday season. And we remain still waiting on that, because it's the holiday season right now.
Right. Which is so wild that the regulatory boards that have the issue with Activision Blizzard, but it's like Sony's the one increasing prices for consumers, so it's like
right. It's oh my god.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They must be Sony ponies on that They're all just PlayStation owners secretly.
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb, Immortality, Roller Drome, and Saints Row released this month. Saints Row did not hit, but Roller Drome, Immortality, and Cult of the Lamb were great. Everybody loved those ones. And we are in September now. GTA 6 leaks. We got that gameplay, and we were having the conversation if this is the biggest video game leak in the industry. It's definitely one of them. Definitely seemed to be one of them. So that was huge.
And it was pretty substantial. Obviously, still early look at it. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, look at those graphics!" It's like, well, it's not done.
Yeah, it's a leak, and they're still working on it.
And that was a cool thing that like developers started posting a bunch of stuff of like, here's our games early in development, and so that was kind of a cool story to follow.
Yeah, that was a cool thing that came out of it for sure. All right, and the next one was Cyberpunk Edge Runners is released. It saves Cyberpunk single-handedly, nothing to do with the developers at over at CD Projekt Red, all about the animators at Trigger. They single-handedly saved Cyberpunk 2077. I'm kidding, of course, but
It got you back into it, right?
exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I was gonna say, like, I'm joking, but the anime is what got me to actually pick it up and beat the game. I love the anime so much that I was like, you know what, I'll give it another shot, and I ended up beating it. And with that increase, or with that newfound attention on Cyberpunk, the numbers were raised, and the peaking number on Steam was 136,000, which was a pretty big bump from where it was before. Bonnie Ross at this time also exited 343 on the heels of the split screen co-op cancellation and delaying certain content updates. So Bonnie Ross exited at that time, but things seem to have been looking up for Halo Infinite ever since, though. Not that was the reason, but
well,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yes, we are on a much better track. Starting March with season 3, hopefully will be the beginning of essentially the new start for Halo Infinite. So very excited.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
This month, Breath of the Wild title was also revealed in the Nintendo Direct. We got it, Tears of the Kingdom. And because of this title reveal, it was also not broadcasted in the UK because at this time the Queen had passed away.
Oh,
so
yes.
be insensitive to that going on. Tears of the Kingdom. There were a lot of tears in the kingdom at that time, so they didn't do that.
I did not even piece that together until you just said that, but yeah, that makes sense.
Apparently, that was the reason. Yeah. And as I was talking about earlier in February, Babylon's Fall. Thought we wouldn't see it again, but here we are. Babylon's Fall announced that it'll be shutting down in February 2023 next year because only 8 players are playing it. So yeah, it's about time. Platinum Games had a couple of L's in 2022. This being one of them. But October is here. Stadia is shutting down in January 2023, surprising everyone. No one saw this coming. Oh my god. It could have been great, Dan. I really think it could have been great. It sucks that the people at Google thought it needed to be shut down, or they didn't support it how it needed to be.
Yeah, you really liked it, right? You used it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought the technology was really good. I think it's a great way to lower the barrier of entry for some people. Instead of getting a beefy PC or an expensive console, just play on the cloud. And it worked really good. That was the one way that I was able to try Cyberpunk before getting a PS5 eventually, and it worked really good. So yeah, kind of sad. Hopefully somebody else is able to get their hands on this tech. Maybe Google could sell it to somebody and they could use it.
Yeah.
We got the first teaser for Mario Bros as well this month. And yeah, I can't wait for that movie. That's another 2023 thing that I'm excited for. This October is also the month where the Bayonetta voice acting drama began, with Helena Taylor saying that she was only accusing Platinum Games that she was only paid $4,000 for Bayonetta 3. It came out that was not the case. It was just kind of a miscommunication thing, but she kind of doubled down after that, and things did not look super great for her after that. Fans kind of shifted gears once more of the story came out. So only time will tell to see where Helena Taylor ends up, but it seems like she wants to be done with Bayonetta, so I guess all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red announces their Witcher franchise and Cyberpunk plans, and Scorn, Overwatch 2, Marvel Snap, and Gotham Knights are released as well.
Marvel Snap.
All right, we're in the last 2 months here.
Heck yeah.
November, EA gets a 3-deal game with Marvel. That's exciting. A little bit. A little scary, but also exciting. They like EA is also the company that said we don't like single player games, but they're also doing Jedi Fallen Order, and that's a one that fans really like. So if they can, and Dead Space as well. So maybe they've turned a new leaf, and these Marvel games will be great. But yeah.
People making Dead Space are making the Iron Man game, right? Is that right? Okay.
It sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's
I believe
right. Motive.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yuji Naka, the creator of, or one of the creators of Sonic, is arrested for the insider trading this
Ooh.
month. Yeah, not good. But to celebrate, Sonic Frontiers was also released this month, alongside God of War Ragnarok, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and Callisto Protocol.
Ooh, what a month.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them are bangers like Ragnarok, but what a month.
Yeah. Well, Pokemon was a banger.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, sort of. Depends on who you ask.
True.
Same with Sonic Frontiers. So I guess you're right.
Christian's got some like slander in the chat here. Thinking about skipping Dead Space remake, playing indies instead. Christian, Dead Space remake, come on, man. You played Callisto
indies,
Protocol. Sorry.
Indies, though.
Oh, that's fair.
No, I understand. I understand why you would say that, Dan, because you love Dead Space, and Christian does too. So he's taking this very seriously. He must be. I can't say that I'm mad at him. Indies rock. Also, Stellar Blade is next year, Christian. You got to make room for that. We are in the last month here. Xbox announces $70 first-party AAA releases will start costing that much, like Sony has already been doing. Again, probably in the new year that will begin after the holiday season. As well as the Game Awards, Elden Ring wins Game of the Year. Yay! And also this random guy went on stage.
Yeah.
Super weird. But a pretty good Game Awards show besides that.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the PXN news of the year. Overall, Dan.
Yo.
Crazy year.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now that it's all over? Was it a good year for games?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
compared to other ones, I guess.
I think it was a good year. Yeah. Very good year in games. I think next year is even like it has the potential to be even better. Like we've got so many games coming on the way, and that's gonna be good. Spider-Man 2 in the fall.
Oh my god, yes. It's always like I like doing. I mean, it's the first time we've done it, but I like looking back at the stories because obviously we look at the release games that came out, like cool, Elden Ring came out, but it's also like the funny weird stuff that happened, like the Square Enix stuff and the Xbox, PlayStation stuff. Like what are going to be the crazy headlines next year? I can't wait to see what Jim Ryan says next year, like what crazy stupid stuff he says, or I don't know. I can't wait.
Embracer Group gets bought out by Tencent, and then they control the world. I don't know. That may already be a thing. I don't even know. You know? Who knows?
Could be. All right, here we are. It's time for the PXN topic of the show, or our topic of the show. Podcast PXN topic of the show. We're going into our 2022 wrap up for PlayStation, Steam. I have a Nintendo one. Do you have any other ones that?
I got PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox.
Okay, sweet. So you've got Xbox, I've got Nintendo, and we both have PlayStation and Steam. Nice. So I guess we can start with PlayStation, and then Steam, and then your Xbox, and then my Nintendo, and we can wrap it up.
That's fair.
Alrighty. So do you want to start us off with your PlayStation stuff?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Explore my score. Okay, I guess should I just go through like some of the stats, or like what do you want to do?
I was thinking like your most like hours played.
Okay.
What game you played the most of, and I think it'd be cool to check out your trophies too.
Okay. My total hours on PlayStation in 2022. It's not much because I play primarily on Xbox. I only play exclusives on PlayStation. So my total time is 85 hours in 2022. 85 hours.
Nice.
And actually, this compares to last year. It says 69 more hours played than last year, which is up 431% in playtime. So that's kind of interesting. So my most played game is, ironically, The Last of Us Part 2, which is a PlayStation 4 game.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Oh
well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played 32 hours of that. Of course, that was to beat that game. Horizon Forbidden West actually is my second most played game at 25% of my time, which is 22 hours.
And you haven't even beaten that one yet, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And The Last of Us Part 1 is my number 3 game at 17 hours logged, and I beat that as well.
I did beat that one.
Yeah. My trophy roundup, let's just see here. I earned 37 new trophies row in this year.
Not bad.
567 total lifetime trophies earned. It's up 12% over last year. Here's a fun fact, bro. I've never platinumed a game.
Damn. Just play a Telltale game on PlayStation, you'll get one.
That's fair. I have 2 gold trophies, 0 platinums. Christian gives me. Oh, thanks, Christian. He gives me the trophy for the biggest backlog. Thank you. Oh my God. Hirik in the chat. 147 hours in Horizon Forbidden West.
Just Horizon. I was going to say, is that your PlayStation account? That can't be, but it's just Horizon. Damn.
Insane.
Damn.
He beat me just in Horizon in my entire PlayStation catalog of games.
Oh my God.
Wow.
My PlayStation numbers are lower than usual as well this year because I didn't have my PlayStation 4 last year, and I only got my PlayStation 5 late this year. So in 2022, I played 166 hours, and that was 493% more than last year. Apparently, that was probably because I didn't have a PlayStation, or not for very long at least. My top game is Cyberpunk. Unsurprisingly, actually.
Wow.
Cyberpunk is number 1, and 50 hours logged, 30% of my playtime. Sonic Frontiers is right behind it, which is kind of surprising because it literally came out a couple months ago. But it was 39 hours logged and 23% of my playtime. Then it goes God of War 2018, then Signalis, and then River City Girls, which also just came out. Oh my God, that's funny.
Whew. That's a really good list, though.
Yeah, those are some banger games there. And my shoot, it logs me out. No, why would it do that? Okay, well, I gotta sign back in there. But I don't know why I'm surprised by Cyberpunk being at the top. That makes sense. It was a pretty long RPG there.
While you're logging back in, guess what my number 5 game was played?
God, I don't know. I don't even know.
You'll never guess it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's beta at 2 hours played. It's
not even the game.
Oh
my God. Oh, I guess because you play on Xbox the game.
The actual game.
But that's funny.
Yeah.
Christian beta.
Christian guessed Fortnite. No, Christian, what Fortnite? Number 1, if I was gonna play that, I would play it on Xbox. PlayStation. But anyways.
Gosh darn it. I have 2-factor authentication. I'm sorry. I have to type in the code I got.
Christian says, now read my highlight.
Oh
yes.
Right, yeah, we have Christians too.
That's true.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
I totally would have forgotten. That's actually a perfect thing to do right now while I sign back in. Do you have it too?
I have it in the chat here. I just gotta get to it.
Oh yeah, he posted in the chat.
Yes. Okay. So Christian's highlights. Christian has 625 hours played on PlayStation, 44 games played. That is insane. 409 trophies earned, 33 PlayStation Plus games. His top game of 2022 is, of course, Elden Ring, and that is at 108 hours of Elden Ring. Oh my gosh. Well, unironically, his number 2 is Modern Warfare 2. So there you go. Rocket League is his number 3. Horizon Forbidden West is his number 4. And God of War Ragnarok is his number 5. I'm surprised Ragnarok's so low in terms of game hours played. But that's Christian's list.
Still playing the heck out of Rocket League, still making the top 3. Gotta respect it.
Yes.
But 409 trophies. What the heck?
Yep.
That's insane. I got I was able to log back in, and I got 109 trophies this year. I got let's see. I don't know if it tells me. No, it doesn't. I wanted to see which ones I got just this year. Oh, I did. It does. Okay, yeah. I got 1 platinum trophy this year, 10 gold trophies, 25 silver, and 73 bronze to make up that one. No, that doesn't make sense. No, is it? I don't think that's. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, that's 109. Yeah, never mind. I was like, that math doesn't make sense, but it does. But it also tells you your first trophy that you ever got, which apparently I got Skate Access Prize. I don't know what that's from because it doesn't tell me. It tells me my most recent trophy, but it's so old that it can't, like, the system can't pull the game that it's from.
Really?
It just says Skate Access Prize is my first trophy, and the game says not available and some crazy error code at the bottom.
Skate Access Prize?
Yeah, I wonder what that's from.
I just tried to Google it, and it's just coming up with Skate playtests.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Skate Access Prize trophy PlayStation.
My first trophy row was Killzone 2, kill 5 Hellghast in 15 seconds.
Wow, impressive. Damn. In 15 seconds. I found what the trophy was, though.
Oh, okay.
Skate Access Prize is from Welcome Park on the Vita.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get 500 points in Skate Access. And that's just like a built-in app on PlayStation Vita.
Interesting.
Incredible.
Huh.
All right, so that's our PlayStation Wrapped. Christian won. If it was a competition, he won. Gage will have to give us his stuff another time. We could read it next week, I guess.
Yeah.
But Steam, I could start us off with the Steam stuff, and then we go back to you.
Absolutely.
So Rose 2020 Steam replay goes as followed. Destiny, surprising no one, is my number one. 48% of my playtime was spent with Destiny. I played 22 games this year. 12 were new games, 2 were demos. Potionomics was my number 2. I unlocked 71 achievements across 14 games, and I play 76% with controller, obviously, and 24% with keyboard and mouse. I hate keyboard and mouse. And Roller Drome was my third played game after Potionomics and Destiny. I really like this spider graph that they have here, where
that's cool. Yeah,
where they have the different types of genres that you're into, and I assume it's different for everybody, because I doubt you have like music and conversation on it unless you do. Yeah. So for me, my top 6 categories on Steam is music, conversation, inventory management, deck building, detective, and Metroidvania. Which, yeah, I like those things. So I love that. That's really cool. And honestly, that's kind of the most important stuff, I would say, from my list here on Steam. What do you got, Dan?
Yes, bro. I'm glad you asked. My Steam played thing is probably even worse than PlayStation. However, my number 1 game at 28% of my playtime is a game I cannot tell you what it's called because of NDA. So
okay, that makes sense.
I don't even know why it shows up in here, but I saw it and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So it's like, I guess nobody has access to it besides you, so it's up to you to show it. But it's interesting that it's tracked in there. Like,
yeah, it is. Because I would get in trouble if I shared this.
Right.
But
holy crap.
Yeah. But my Steam replay, I've played 6 games, so not a whole lot. 5 new games. Well, I guess I can say this. 1 playtest played. That's the game I was referring to. Before Your Eyes is my number 2 game, which you guys had convinced me to play, and it has 20% of my playtime. That game, very good. Very good game. Very sad.
I'm glad I made the list.
Yeah. That was good. I've unlocked 438 achievements, which sounds insane, but I'll tell you here in a second why. The Master Chief Collection is my number 3 played game. I guess it's technically tied for number 2 because it's also 20% of my play time. And the reason I had 438 achievements unlocked is because when Master Chief Collection came out on Steam, or when Master Chief Collection came out on PC, it syncs to your Xbox account. So if you already have the achievements unlocked on Xbox, it automatically unlocks them on Steam.
Gotcha.
And I just recently purchased MCC on Steam specifically. So that's why
They're all
I
transferred
unlocked
over.
them. Yes.
Gotcha.
And then let's see what else. 43% of the games I played were new releases, so that's kind of cool. And then my spiderweb thing, my top game or categories are narrative, emotional, which before your eyes, of course.
Yeah.
VR, survival horror, which those two go hand in hand. Online co-op and FPS. That's cool. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Hell yeah. And I think Christian sent us his Steam stuff. I don't know why I can't log into my Twitter on my laptop anymore, but I could open it up on my phone.
Yeah, I had that same issue a little bit ago. It was really broken.
But Christian, this year, ISO Christian played a variety of different games. These are a few of their highlights. Resident Evil 4, 33% of their playtime, the original 2005 survival horror, 26 sessions. He played a total of 13 games, 12 were new ones. Obviously, Resident Evil was probably the old one. We've got Pavlov VR at 18%.
I played that with him.
Yes. You got 45 achievements from across 5 games. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance was the next one after Pavlov with 16%, 7 sessions played. He played 16% with his mouse and keyboard and 65% with his controller. I want to see Christian's spider graph here. Oh, his is like a triangle.
Oh.
But he's got inventory management with the most points, or VR with the most points, I think. Then great soundtrack coming in number 2, inventory management, then flight. Oh no, horror was probably behind great soundtrack, then inventory management, then flight, then survival. Yeah, those sound like Christian things for sure. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, that looks like the most important stuff there as well. Oh, he has Faith as well on here. 10 sessions played, 2-day streak, 15% of their playtime, and Boneworks as well. I know Christian really likes Faith as well, so gotta shout that.
Heck yeah.
All right. So now it's time for the Nintendo and Xbox section to close it out. Our favorites. My favorite, I love Nintendo. You love Xbox. We're going to show Christian's Nintendo, but I don't know if Christian's favorite is Nintendo, but he's getting lumped in with this. He loves Nintendo.
Yes.
All right. So, Dan, please tell me your Xbox.
Yes. My year on Xbox row, which this is going to be pretty to the point because this is a third party had to do this. Microsoft do one of these next year. Yeah,
please.
It's cool. 2022 highlights row, 222 achievements earned for 4,275 gamer score, 36 games played, and 547 hours on Xbox.
There it is.
Yeah, there she is. And Ro, the top game of 2022 is, of course, Halo Infinite at 335 of my hours.
Damn.
And that's why I don't finish anything.
You gotta play what you like.
Yes.
Life is too short.
Yeah.
But holy crap, out of the 500 hours, 300 of those were spent on Halo Infinite. Respect.
Yes.
Was there anything else there?
That's it. That's the whole wrap up. Yep.
Come on, Microsoft.
Do it next year. Yeah.
Honestly, the Nintendo one isn't much better. It's pretty straightforward as well. My most played games on Nintendo: Pokemon Legend Arceus, Splatoon 3, and Pokemon Violet. I was a Pokemon boy this year, apparently. Honestly, that's pretty much what I can tell you. I got 18 days played for Pokemon Legends Arceus, 62 hours. They didn't really go into too much depth in these ones either, but they do have like a cool little graph for my gaming trends as well, like Steam did. So it got 3% platformers, 11% adventure, 12% shooter, 13% multiplayer, 32% action, and 29% role playing for my interests
Heck yeah.
in games on Nintendo. But for Christian, he most played games were Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario Golf Super Rush, and Bayonetta 2. Mario Golf, I understand. He says he like plays that almost every weekend.
And I'm sure he wished that it was gonna be Switch Sports, but it just didn't hit for him.
Did not hit. Yeah. Very sad.
And I just want to point out, Ro, I logged into my account on there and it says unable to display content. Oh no, we don't see enough play data on this Nintendo account to continue this experience.
Wow.
Because I don't think I played anything on Switch this year. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like we can't do last year's, can we? It's like no.
Yeah.
Just cancel it out.
Yep.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Well, hopefully next year you'll be able to pick it up with Tears.
Yes. Yes.
Christian says nothing better than having a few brews and playing Mario Golf with the lads. Amen. Amen.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's it. That was our wraps, and I agree, Christian. It was fun to compare everybody's stuff to see where everybody likes the game, what everybody likes to play, and I think the new thing that's going on, the new hot trend is play what you like. You know, like sometimes sometimes you want to play God of War Ragnarok to have the discussion, but there's another part of you is like, man, I really want to play Sonic, and I did that, and it felt really good. It felt really good to do that. I'll get to God of War when I get to it, but I think there's something powerful about playing Halo Infinite for 500 or for 300 hours. just do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our last show of the year, guys. Thank you for listening.
Do you want to talk about your games you're playing?
Oh right! Oh my god, we completely skipped.
I forgot until just now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up with what you got for me. Sure. Daniel.
Yo.
You know what? I'll start because I think you might have more to say there.
Sure.
I played Tales of Arise, which is a cool JRPG that has been on my radar for quite some time, and it's part of a larger series. But they're all kind of like Final Fantasy, so you could like jump in anytime you want to. And pretty early on, it's a JRPG. If you're early on, that sometimes means 10 hours into a game, but you're still on the first chapter.
Oh my god.
But I'm having a really good time with the story. The combat is really, really fun. And the story is cool. It's a cool story. Again, I'm 10 hours in, but it's still very early on JRPG wise, so it still has a lot of time to pick up steam. But so far it's a good time. It's a good time, having a good time with it. That's pretty much all I've been playing, besides River City Girls too. Been cracking on that a little bit too.
Oh yeah, I've wanted to kind of go into River City Girls at some point because I love TMNT and it seems like it's very similar.
It's really good. It's really good. If you ever do get into it,
yeah,
I will definitely play co-op with you. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Christian says he's been playing Bloodborne DLC before he left for California.
Nice.
He said he also ate a gummy and played a Hot Wheels game for 2 hours. All right.
Nice.
Wow.
Jealous.
Yeah. Well, Ro, God of War Ragnarok, as I alluded to a little bit before. I've been playing more of that, and man, as this game goes on, I love it even more. I'm glad that I made it my game of the year last week when we were having our game of the year talks, because it's surprising me how much you're interacting with this game in a way you don't expect when you first start playing this game. And I'm trying to be vague just to not throw anyone any spoilers or anything. But yeah, it's really cool. Like I just love how unique the feel is in terms of where the story is going and where the events are taking you, because like you start God of War 2018 already on a high note, kind of off of a battle right off the start. And Ragnarok, I feel like, doesn't necessarily start in the same spot, although it sort of does. And yet it keeps your interest by changing things around you. Like the environments are changing and like you're going to different places that are like very different. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it thus far. And part of my frustrations that I put with you guys about the puzzles early on playing, I think have now subsided, because at first I didn't really understand what the different mechanics were to interact with the puzzles. And once I figured that out, now the puzzles are like coming naturally to me, where I'm like, okay, this makes sense. You use this here and this. The pieces are starting to fall together to where I'm like, okay, I'm really, really loving this. And like I said last week, like the story and the characters are written so well, and like the dialogue is meaningful, unlike Horizon Forbidden West, in my opinion, where it's just very drawn out and too much. Like, it's just perfect. I really love this game, and I can't wait to beat this game. So, and I will beat it, Christian.
I was gonna say, you said that about Horizon as soon as Kurak came back in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know how much Kurak loves Horizon.
Yes, I'm sorry, Kurak. I apologize.
It's perfect timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, my bad. We completely glossed over what you got for me, but Dan reminded me, so we got to it. But now, for real this time, it is our last episode of the year. Thank you, Kurak, in the chat for the entire year for sticking out and coming around every chance you get to support us, and Glenn, of course, and my dad, Brent, for coming out and supporting us throughout the year, and there are some others as well, but you guys were the ones the real ones. You're always there in the chat, so thank you.
And what a 2023 we have still to come.
Yeah.
I mean, episode 200, it's gonna be fun.
Yes, we've got some cool stuff in the oven baking for you guys to eat up next year. So very exciting stuff. Again, thank you everybody for watching and listening to us talk about video games. Thank you for joining us live on YouTube and on Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else that you get your podcasts. I am Rashan, and that's Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
And until next time, later will be greater.
Much love. Keep on gaming.